So Jack Dorsey is stepping down as the CEO of Twitter. There are lots of speculation. One person said he is the head of a company that he no longer has control over. And that may be true. But another truth is there is a possibility of a red wave and Republicans gaining control of both the House and the Senate. And when that happens, or if that happens, Jack Dorsey will be called to testify before Congress and ask about his involvement with censorship, particularly the censorship with the Hunter Biden story, among other things. I wanted to just hit on yesterday's show. I didn't plan on it, but I invite anyone on my show usually to have a discussion, so long as it's not personal vendettas. I've had shows where people have come on who've had personal vendettas against people I know on the internet and in real life, and that I won't permit. But for the most part, I want this YouTube channel and my page, my website, transparencyandmerit.com, to be a place where freedom of expression is allowed and grievances are allowed. Due process is a legal term, from my understanding. But there are forms of due process, or things in relation to due process, that are also outside of court. Within a friendship, within a relationship, the right to be heard, the right to have your evidence weighed, is really a human right. I've said this before, but in many states, teachers, before they can get fired, have a due process. And it's very intricate and there's a lot of things to do before you can fire a teacher in California, the state in which I live in. And I believe many other states have a due process before you can fire somebody. And these internet companies, I mean, if the person is large enough and they have violated a rule, there should be somewhat of a due process to why this is happening. And they choose not to do so. And I believe that perhaps Jack Dorsey is the people in his company are probably very forceful and do not allow or do not want freedom of speech or freedom of expression. They believe that those things are dangerous. And many of the people that I know on Discord, and some of them whom I know in real life, seem to think, and I don't want to say internet, it's real life, but I hear their voices, seem to think that by giving people whom they disagree with who they believe are racist and are so-called white supremacists, the freedom of expression and the freedom to air their grievances, that I am promoting it. And you either believe in the freedom of expression for ideas and even people that you hate, or you do not believe in it at all. If a person does not want to give me due process, what is the point? Can I force them to give me a hearing or a right to speak? No, I can't. On a friendship level, that's kind of the price you pay. If it were to hurt me economically, I would like to think that the courts would get involved. Because if you can hurt someone economically, you're punishing them. And punishment should involve due process. Things that cost you financially, in my opinion, should involve a form of due process. And I'm not going to point out whether I agree or disagree with the donning armor, the person I had on yesterday. My point is this: does he have the right to freedom of expression? Is me having him on my platform, does that mean that I'm promoting him? Perhaps to a degree. But people can decipher whether they like his ideas or not. That is an interesting statement, Dennis. Due process is already done before it gets to courts. Now, I could be wrong on that definition, but I always thought that he posted them. What do you mean by he posted them? I'm not sure what you mean, Scott. The court is influenced. Please do. But are you afraid? Well, let me ask you this. Are you afraid of ideas? And do people have the right to express their grievances? That is true. Society judges their peers. They do. But they have a right to speak. And we're hearing a siren right now, so bear with me. This is not a professional studio. This is just one of the rooms I do shows in. And but the jury of their peers. I'm putting on Discord. I turned off my Discord. But I will see my Discord DM here. I'm checking my DMs here for the things that he posted here. Okay, let me see here. I am ignorant with DMs and checking Discord. So I'm just looking here. Guerrilla discussion. I'm not, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure on how to check my DMs there, Scott. Let me see here. Okay. I'm just looking here. Okay. But my point is this. Well, due process doesn't work perfectly. That is true. I'm checking my Discord DMs, and I'm like, I am ignorant on how to work this gosh darn Discord. You know, I'm here. Let's see, home. Where are my DMs here? Yeah, I'm not. Let me see here. I'm looking at the home. You know what? I'll tell you this. I will check my DMs later, but that doesn't mean. What does it matter whether he posts his beliefs or not? Does it? I mean, I've asked this several times, and you're not answering any of my questions. Does a person have the right to freedom of expression? And because I host somebody with things you disagree with, does that make me a bad person? Anyway, I'm going to turn off my Discord. But does that make me a bad person? Other people have posted, okay, yes, jackasses have right. Yes, you jackass. Why does it make me bad? Why does that make me? Why does that make me a bad person, Scott? All right, let me see here. And I would invite Scott to why does that make me a bad person? Why does it make me a bad person because I err, because somebody has grievances, and you think those grievances are jackasses? Why does that make me a bad person? Why do you accuse me of being a bad person for talking to a person who has grievances? Why is that? Right. Again, you know what, Scott? Here's the deal. And this goes for anybody else interested in hearing me out and answering my questions, then go away. You don't have to be around me. I believe in the right of freedom of speech, and I believe in the right of freedom of expression. And if you don't like it, and if you're too emotional for it, and it hurts your feelings, if you believe it's dangerous, then there's something wrong with you. All right, you know what? I'm gonna invite people on. I usually I don't like doing this because it becomes a cluster hump, and I will mute you and I will take you off the stream if you get silly with me. So I'm going to invite people on the stream. And Little Nicky says donning armor doesn't affiliate himself with anyone but himself. And I've put the stream out there. But look, I just do. I believe in the right. I mean, to me, it's like it's simple to me. And you either believe in it or you don't. And if your belief system and it goes against you're treating your belief system like a faith, you either believe in the right of freedom of expression or you don't. And Scott, you haven't told me why having someone on to express themselves makes me a bad person. Having someone on that you disagree with express themselves makes me a bad person. People can either decipher information or they cannot. But I guess Scott believes that people cannot decipher information for themselves, and that by having someone on, that it perhaps is too dangerous. I'm speaking for Scott because Scott, I've invited him to come on, and he will not. He is a coward. He's an intellectual coward. Well, I love your meme. I think I've done that once. So do you have anything to add, Scott, that I have said?
Brian, do you know what the 14 words are?
Yes.
What are they in English?
I don't look. I can only summarize, but it's something we must secure.
14 words, sir. I'm being honest. I'm being direct.
No. I'm being honest as well. I know the 14. I mean, I've heard the 14 words, and I have not recited them through memory. They're not part of my belief system, but I believe it goes: we must secure an existence for the white race and our children and the like. I mean, I've heard
almost we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children.
Okay, and I don't agree with that.
Then why did you spend 2 hours with this jackass talking about racial segregation and giving him a platform? And Brian, you tacitly agreed with everything he said, even when you said, "Oh, I kind of disagree. I don't think the races should be separated." You did in such a fallacious, backhanded manner. It was hard to tell. You're driving a lot of your homies away with this racial stuff, man. We've been asking you to talk about other things. Does that make you a bad person? Maybe not, Brian, but man, it makes you it makes you dense. I could be wrong on that, though.
Well, I appreciate you for saying that I could be wrong. And would you say the same thing about people the Hebrew Israelites or black nationalists and
Brian, I don't talk to cult members and weirdos. I don't spend time doing that stuff.
I have talked. If they're willing to have an open conversation with me, I'm willing to talk to them. I'm willing to talk to.
That's fine, Brian. But when you have these supremacist types on, you're going to be painted with the same brush, whether that's fair or not. And if you think we're harsh on you, imagine what outsiders or strangers are going to think.
Do you think you're fair and impartial? Are you emotional?
I'm at least as emotional as you, Brian. Don't get on your little stoic high horse because you're anything but.
You're right.
All you do is think with your emotions, man. Come on. Let's be reals.
I'm not saying that it's a strength. It is a weakness. I do at times think with I am a flawed human being, and I do think with my emotions at times. I am very passionate about the First Amendment, and I'm very passionate about the right of due process. Very passionate about that, and I believe that a lot of people have stopped believing in that, and I believe that the internet should be. I mean, I want to get to a place where the internet is a place where we are the information age, but it seems like the information age has been turned into the age of censorship and punishment because people are passionate. And on this show, I strive for people not to be passionate. And we have a person by the name of Mandy. If you are not really that person, I'm going to remove you from the stream. So I'm going to see who you are.
I don't know how that name got on there, but you know who this is.
Okay.
What's up, Dennis? Homeboy.
Hold on, Scott. Boy.
All right.
Boy. New York boys. New York boy.
Island boys.
All right, gentlemen. Let's.
I got
I'm
a
gonna
question
put,
for you,
put
Brian.
everyone on mute. I'm going to put myself on mute as well, and you can answer your question.
Yeah, Brian. I'd like to know where this white people hate white people. Where is this? Is this white people that were racist against white people, or are they prejudiced? White people are prejudiced against white people because they are racists. See, that's my issue. That's what my question is to you, and this is what I wanted to ask this dawning dude. All right. So yeah, go ahead with that, Brian. Just to be civil with early.
I'm going to answer your question. Put you on mute. I'm not sure. I understand your question, but people hate people for many reasons. I think love is more. Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Love is often blind, and hatred is often the glasses that you see. I've noticed that people have, when people describe why they love someone, a lot of times if it's romantic love, it's all this, wishy-washy and not really concrete things. When somebody hates somebody or they hate a group or whatever, they have absolute specific reasons for hating them. They may not be valid, but they still have reasons. Scott, I'm going to give it to you if you understand this question, and then I'm going to go back to the person calling himself Mandy, whose actual name is Dennis.
Sorry if I sound a little nasally today. They were doing some work on my teeth today and turned to trash. What was the question? You lost me, man. What is race talk? Don't you get...
Did you hear what Dennis said?
Yeah, repeat the question. Repeat the question that I asked, Brian. I asked you. Repeat the
Why
question.
don't you? You know what, Dennis? I didn't gather. Dennis, I didn't gather what you were saying. So why don't you ask that question again, and I'll bring it to Dennis.
Okay, Scott.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fill me in on this one. People hate white people. They're racist against white people. White people are racist against white people. All right. This is interesting. I don't know where that comes from. Now, listen. I'm okay. I may be. I don't really like. I got company. I really don't like racists at all. All right. Being prejudiced against one person, it doesn't matter what race they are, but if they're taking their own opinions, their own feelings, their own beliefs that are obviously against society's norm, all right, basically they're being this is a dumb expression racist against a person, but they just call it racism. But it's like this dude, this dawning dude. He says black Jews took the white peoples, all right, and enslaved them. Ooh, bad, right? Like it made no sense. It's like, where does it get to a point where that, like Dawning was saying, we're racist against our own race? Like that makes no sense to me. Like you can be prejudiced against your own race.
I'm putting you on mute just because you are meandering. And let me have Scott. Does Scott think that Dennis is meandering and it's just going nowhere?
Yes, of course. Well, Dennis tends to go on long walks by the beach while pontificating. White people are like the absolute worst fucking slaves. My God, we're terrible. All we do is whine and complain and get sunburned. Terrible idea. That was the question.
Well, okay. I want to mention that we do have donning armor on here. Would you?
Whoa.
Would you?
Awesome.
Yeah, Scott.
It's your show, man. I just want.
Yeah, I gotta.
Oh, as soon as he starts his racial bullshit, I'm jetting though, Brian, because I'm not.
No, man. I want to talk to this dude. I gotta mute myself, Brian. I'll mute myself and set up your guest.
Okay, because
All right?
Okay, again.
I'll tell you what,
Okay.
Brian. I'll go so I don't mess up your show any. We'll talk.
Oh, no. I wanted to talk to you. I want.
Yeah, we need a panel. We need a
So,
panel of people here.
do you
Scott.
believe that it's right and moral for people to accuse me of something because I platform people with ideas that they disagree with?
Well, everybody has their own choice in their belief
I'm
system.
not asking you.
Brian, whether it's right or moral, I don't know if it is, but it's inevitable. So you're gonna have to be.
I'm asking
either way.
But okay, I'm sorry, but Scott, I'm asking you. Do you believe that that is correct?
Do I believe? No, I think you should be more cognizant of who you platform if you don't want this kind of reaction.
But I'm asking you as a person, you as a human being, do you think that that is correct for the mob to come after me because they don't agree with me?
No, I do not agree with that.
Well, there we go. Okay, I'm going to put donning armor on, and he can defend himself. Scott, if you want to continue on, go ahead. I'm going to put everyone on mute, and I have Political Woodstock on as well. She has also been accused of things. So I'm going to give people a chance. First, I'll start with donning armor. Please put yourself on mute when you are in the stream. Donning armor, what say you?
All right. Am I audible?
You are audible.
It's wonderful to be on the Council of Mediocres. Thank you, King Brian. I appreciate it. I didn't hear anything that you other people had to say about me, so I was just told that I was being spoken about, and my ears were itching. I had to come in. So, what's going on?
Well, you do have the 14 words. That I mean, look, I'm not a person that subscribes to that belief, but if you want to defend it or not defend it, it's up to you.
That's funny. I've never mentioned the 14 words. However, I completely subscribe to them. So good on you, man. What do you want me to say? I believe the 14 words, not just for white people, but for everyone. My only distinction is that white people are the ones that are being attacked. It's only us that are not allowed to say the 14 words. Everybody else is allowed to say it. So that's all I'll say.
I'm going to go to Scott. Do you believe that what do you have a comment on what donning armor has said?
That's a racist dog whistle, and you put it on your YouTube about page, so don't act like you did.
Well, he did, but he didn't mention the 14 words on the show. So that is true. It is on his page. So
I sent you a screenshot of it.
No. I know. Yeah, I saw the 14 words on his YouTube page, and
did George Lincoln Rockwell travel back through time to put them forward in time to put them there?
Okay, you're getting silly now. All right, donning armor. Do you have anything to add that this is a dog whistle?
I don't really care. I think all people of all ethnicities should strive for the 14, depending on wherever it comes from. I think it matters no matter who you are. And if you have a problem with it, I never mentioned it on the show, and I said that I agree with it. I absolutely agree with the 14 words.
Yeah. So you believe it to be a dog whistle. I mean, again, there are many different facets to people that believe in those things, and there are ethno-nationalists of all types. There are racial and ethno-nationalists of all types, and I do believe it is true that it is those who are white nationalists that are uniquely persecuted. There may be
it's white people only, exclusively, that are attacked because of wanting to preserve their culture. Now, these anti-whites, well, I don't know who this Mandy is. That the Mandy that I know? I doubt it. But these people change their names up to hide themselves. I'm donning armor, and wherever you see me, I'm going to be donning armor. It's only white people that are exclusively segregated and beaten down and lied about and not allowed to love themselves. And that's why you get people like Mandy. I still have love for Mandy. She's a white woman, as far as I could tell, and I wish her well. And, I think she's rather irate at times, and I also found Liz to be rather irate at times, but they're still my people, and I still love them, and they still have a voice, and I want them to know that there's nothing wrong with being white. We are not guilty of anything. We should be proud of ourselves, and I'll drop the mic.
Well, I don't listen. I'm a person that does not. I struggle with the belief of pride or ego. I think that those are detriments uh, to human progress, and they lead people up to a degree. It sets people up to failure. You should do the right thing. You should work hard, and you should be noble. Those are my beliefs. Anyway, Scott, do you have anything to add on that, or is there nothing to say more?
No, I'm pretty sick of it. You can keep pushing.
Very well. Now I'm going to bring on someone who has been accused herself, and I guess she's been told to love, loving her own, and I don't know if she has the same beliefs as donning armor, but I'm going to give her a chance of due process and defend herself. Again, platforming them and discussing them is not an endorsement. So here we go. Go ahead.
Well, hello. I didn't know I had been attacked. I do believe in loving your own kind, protecting your own kind. I see nothing wrong with that at all. I find it amazing that Scott is
How
being
about you?
so quiet. Excuse me, but you are going to be quiet, sir. I find it alarming that people can talk about Donning, then when he shows up to have a discussion, they're quiet. Where's saying that you had someone on your platform being racist, Scott? You said that about him. And I don't know if you know Donning Armour. I don't.
No,
But he
I
was
don't know. I
respectful.
don't care,
He
Angela.
was respectful,
I don't give a shit.
kind, and he explained himself, unlike you, who just throws
Right.
labels on people, which are limiting.
Where
Okay,
I
Brian,
have
I'm
a
going to say
question.
concluded, and thank you for coming on, Donning Armour. That is really great of you.
Can I
Much,
ask a question?
sorry, much love to you, Woodstock. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I heard that my name was being dropped, and I had to come on, and nobody's saying anything to me. It's interesting.
How
Mm-hmm.
about this? Fuck you. Fuck your racist.
No,
beliefs.
listen. I'm here. I'm
There you
here,
go.
and I have a question. I have a question for Donnie. All right.
All right, if it's not from a whiskey bottle there, Dennis, then I guess we can. I mean, you're bringing down the show a few pegs with the whiskey room. Go ahead.
Yeah, Brian.
All right.
And he's a Canadian. People need to know that
Right.
Dennis is a Canadian.
It doesn't matter.
And he
whatever.
he loves the peppermint schnapps. But go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I don't drink that shit. That's gross. Anyway, but Donning, you talked about whites hating whites, correct? Last night. This I'm correct. Am I not?
Yes, no, absolutely. There are anti-white whites and anti-white non-whites. Absolutely.
Are there anti-black blacks?
Because
I know some.
that I know of, but it certainly would be
I know
possible.
some. Yeah. I know them very well. Okay. So, what do you do with white haters that hate whites, like the whites that hate whites? Like, do you hate them? Do you embrace them? What?
No, I love them because I understand the struggle that they're going through, because there has been an indoctrination put on white people through various methods, more than I could possibly list. I wouldn't know all of them. I could name a few. Comes through corporations, through greed, and through education, and also from foreign interests that want to bring down Western civilization. Regardless of where it comes from, doesn't really matter. I feel bad for them. I don't want them to hate themselves, and I don't want them to hate other white people. I think that all people should love themselves, and they should love their extended race.
All right. Why do you say white haters hate themselves? Why do you say that?
I just told you because they've been
But it
indoctrinated
makes no
into doing.
sense.
You're getting
But
He's
hate
buzzed.
is a strong word. No,
Okay.
hate.
all right. I'm sorry, but I don't want us to get into a circular conversation. And there are people with very strong views. Someone sent me a private chat. Who is this? Oh.
If I may, just momentarily, Brian, and I'll be quaint and brief. When I grew up in school, this might not be true for you, Mandy, but when I grew up in school, I was taught about history, right? We all took history, and the parts that I remember most distinctively were white people came to the Americas and killed all the Indians, and then the KKK, and then Hitler came, Nazis killed all the Jews. And that's just a false interpretation of what white history is. We've done so much more and wonderful things, and we should be taught to love our people, not be ashamed of who we are. And you can see it manifested
Are you feeling as
in,
though the white people are being oppressed?
excuse me?
I had to remove him just because I don't want anyone talking over anybody. Go ahead, continue, Donnie.
I apologize. I didn't want him to get, hey, it's your show, brother. And
I can bring him back on. I just don't want I don't want that kind of crosstalk. I want people to be heard, and the sound quality is not as good when you have that kind of thing. So I'm not doing it out of personal. I'm just doing it out of respect. Go ahead.
yeah, well, the fact that he's got the name Mandy kind of bugs me because, come on, dude, like, tell me who you are, It's no big deal.
Oh, his name is Dennis, by the way. He's Canadian, and he likes to drink and smoke weed.
Okay, whatever. I'm cool with it. Um, we can see the manifestation of this education that's been put on us. I've been through school. I'm a man. I've gone through school, and I saw the anti-whiteism that was put on me, the blame, the shame, and now I know people that they're currently attending college, and the white kids are meant to sit in the back of the class because shame on them because of Jim Crow. Now, this is it's a perversion of history, and white people are meant to be shamed. They're meant to hate themselves. And we're constantly told things like white silence is violence. But if a white person speaks up, especially a white man, they're told, sit down and shut up. You can't talk about other people. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Again, you take white flight and gentrification. If white people move into a community, well, that's bad. They're racist. They're white. If they move out of a community, well, that's bad. They're racist. They're white. So I'm tired of this. I'm not playing the game anymore. These people are anti-white cowards. They hate themselves. I want to lift them up. I don't have any hatred for the gentleman that just got removed from the stream. I don't have any hatred for the gentleman that's over. You can't tell me stuff. I don't. I've given up. There's no white guilt anymore. The game is over. Your cards have been dealt. It's over. I love my people. Everybody should love their own people. If you have a problem with that, if you have a problem with the 14, well, get stuffed, homie. That's it.
Well said.
Well, I believe that people should love what's right. And I'll draw on this. I mean, I remember my father when he was, he was stationed in Greenville, Mississippi, and he had a black friend from Jamaica, and my father wanted to get him something to eat, and he was refused service. Actually, he had guns pulled out on him because of that. And I used to feel, honestly, I used to feel guilty. I do not feel guilty anymore. I think that white guilt is counterproductive and it's fake. And a lot of the relationships between the races now are fake and they're not genuine, are real. And my thing is, you can't get to a real point unless you are, you can't get to a genuine point unless you're real. And a lot of this white guilt stuff is kind of fake. And all of my relationships with people of other races have been out of real, genuine, that we were real, genuine people. And it was not based on guilt or phoniness. And we're seeing a lot of this nowadays. And you can't have a real relationship if you're walking on eggshells either. That's not real either. Anyway, Dennis is added to the stream. He was, and he didn't do it on purpose, by the way. Continue, Dennis. Do you have anything to add?
No, I just wanted to know. I wanted to go further with this hatred thing, and Donnie was started going into that hating thing. Yeah, it's like individuals and people or
Okay.
races.
Okay.
Or
I'm going to, again, Donning has made very clear whether whether you agree with him or not. He has said
no,
that let me finish. Okay. He has made very clear that he does not hate. And okay, don't do that. She's crying with a goddamn child. Listen, Donning has made it very clear that he says he does not hate anyone, that he loves his own kind. I'm not a person that, I don't love anyone until I really get to know them. There are people that, I may have some kinship to, but I'm not a person that either loves my enemies or loves acquaintances. Love is something that I have to get to know the person. And but I love what's right. I love nobility and I love goodness. And you can't get to those genuine places with the kinds of censorship that we're having today. And you can't get to real relationships with the types of censorship that you have today. Anyway, Dennis, do you have anything more to add?
Yeah, just to go on to this due process thing at the beginning of the show, you started as being is if you're not one side like the left or the right or the white or sorry the red or the blue whatever, and you're in the middle and you're neutral, all of a sudden one side would call you guilty, and the other side will call you guilty as well. So you're stuck in the middle. So you got to take sides, like division again. And hatred, this is where hatred is born. Hatred is born from doubt and unknowing and ignorance. So people hate each other. In any regard, Donning, you don't hate people. I understand this. I despise what people do. All right. But yeah. So with due process, I'll finish it off with that, Brian. I might be back later. But with due process, yeah, you're already judged by society, and it carries on into the courtroom. So whatever. But yeah. Oh yeah, Don. Apparently that you don't affiliate yourself with any organization or group. Is this true?
The only reason I removed Dennis is, has anyone here ever seen the movie Blazing Saddles? He's doing a version of just bloviating, and I think he's talking to hear himself speak. Donnie, do you have anything to add of that bloviated whiskey bottle talk?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I've picked my side, and my side is white well-being, the love for my own people and for everyone to love themselves and their cultures and to sustain those cultures. It's quite simple. I'm not making this complicated. I'm merely saying that everyone, regardless of their skin tone, regardless of their melanin content, should love themselves. And I wish for these cultures, these diverse cultures, to exist. Now, the only people that are told that they're not allowed to love themselves are white cultures. And I'm sick of it. I'm fed up and I refuse. And if you have a problem with that, then you have a problem with that. It seems like a completely reasonable stance to me. If it doesn't to you, well, then you're an anti-white piece of filth, and goodbye.
All right, I'm going to make a statement, and then I'll ask anyone to respond.
I had a point or two if we have a moment.
I will absolutely allow you to respond, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I believe to get the truth and to get to authentic relationships, you need freedom of speech, you need freedom of expression, and you need people to be real. This type of censorship and cancel culture is changing the dynamics of our culture, and it's changing the dynamics of real, authentic friendships and relationships. I want to be real, not fake, and that is what a lot of this cancel culture stuff is. I'm gonna get it to Scott if he has a comment on what I just said, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
Brian, no one is saying you don't have the right to say what you want to say. It's just some of the things you say are becoming socially unacceptable, and you're just gonna have to like deal with that, man. I'm sorry. Like society is changing, so I don't know. Cole,
I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you consider yourself a moral authoritarian?
no.
You could have fooled me.
Me too.
Well, do you consider yourself? I don't want to use a bad word. Do you have a strong preference for your race, Brian?
No.
Then why is it all that you talk about all day and night is race?
Because I believe that there's persecution happening, and I believe that people are being denied.
Oh, I think we're getting back to this victim complex thing we talked about.
It is not victim.
Look, I gotta go. I gotta take care of the dog.
Good.
Talk later. Donnie, fuck you. Angela, I don't know what your fucking issue is.
Suck my dick, you fucking idiot. Anti-white piece of shit. Sorry, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, it is what it is. A lot of anger coming out here for whatever reason. I have no anger towards anyone unless they've done something to me personally. But there are behaviors out there that, whether I disagree with them or not, I believe that human beings deserve a platform, and I believe that we get to a better place, a more authentic place, when we allow for freedom of expression and freedom of thought. Now, I'm going to go down the room. Donning Armor, do you have anything to say before I end this show?
Wait.
Oh.
No. I'm going to get you too, okay? And then I'll let Dennis back into the stream, and I'll give him his whiskey bottle saying. Go ahead, Donning.
Well, it's just fascinating how all of these people are so confused with the fact that somebody actually, a white person, a white man, actually loves his own people, and they have a problem with it. So they're going to throw out their anti-white terms. Well, they're anti-whites. And Woodstock, it was a pleasure listening to you speak the other day. And I hope that, Brian, you have her on more often. She's a reasonable, intelligent, and decent woman. The rest of them, they're anti-white. They hate themselves. They need to wake up. And sometimes you got to give them a little hard truth, and sometimes you got to be gentle with them. So when they want to say something like what that fool said, whatever his name was, I can't remember, they can say what they want to say. But I can say what I want to say as well. And thank you for your content. Thank you for the stream. I heard that my name was being dropped. I had to come to defend my honor, as any noble white man would. Mike free.
All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and go on. Donning had mentioned the educational system earlier, and I wanted to speak on that for a brief moment. That before we used to have a classical education where history was taught on a timeline and how it related to other parts of the world at that moment in time. Like they would talk about the pilgrims, and there's two groups. There was the strangers and the pilgrims. For example, asking a 9 or 10-year-old child that, they won't know what you're talking about. We need to get rid of critical race theory and put back in place classical education where they teach the Latin root words, which helps the children learn to spell and with their vocabulary. You know, I'm very disappointed in Scott talking about it's socially unacceptable. I think it's socially unacceptable to him because it makes him uncomfortable because he does not love his own kind. By his very words, he tells me that. So Dennis is Dennis. I'll love him no matter what. But you know, he's a Canadian. He doesn't know what due process is in these United States. Due process is here to protect our Bill of Rights, our federal courts. You know, without due process, none of the courts, the Bill of Rights would cease to have value. So I hope I'm saying quickly what I really wanted to get through. And I also appreciate your stream. It's a great show, and it's nice to be on this stream with you, Donnie. Okay, thank you, and I'm concluded.
With that being said, I'm going to end on this, but I believe that we cannot get to any kind of real place unless things are being said that are unpopular. We've had our police defunded. We've had our police defamed. We've had our cities run amok by degenerate criminals. Many parts of the city, stores are closing down. And many part of them, if they're not closed down, you have to go under lock and key to get products and the like. And this is all because BLM has been given, in a lot of ways, unquestioned authority to do what it wants. And I saw these people, I saw Black Lives Matter march across my neighborhood, and these were Pol Pot style leftists. And they are dangerous. I would say that if they were neo-Nazis saying Jews will not replace us, those are dangerous people. And like I said, you cannot expose them because due process is now a thing of the past. On the open court, the court of public opinion, which the internet, in my opinion, should be. We should express ideas, the marketplace of ideas. Ideas are not dangerous. Human beings can decipher for themselves what is right or wrong. All right, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, share this video. And if you don't agree with what I said, please tell me why. Have the guts to tell me what you're thinking. If you want to ignore me, then hey, that's on you. Anyway, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and yeah. And visit our website at transparencyandmerit.com. Thank you for listening.